What's up, y'all? Michael Lee from Backwoods Life. We don't do a lot of cooking videos here, but we're gonna start because we cook a lot and we never show y'all how we do it. So today, it's summertime, it's August, I'm at home, we're gonna cook some ribs. It's Sunday afternoon, we're just gonna hang out at the backyard in our tank, as we call it, that little pool we got back here. We're gonna cook some ribs on the pit boss. It's gonna take about 5 hours cook time. We're gonna season them up first. First thing I always do on ribs, these are baby back ribs. These are our favorite to cook. They got the most meat on them. We pull this membrane off, and we've already got a spot, some right here, that we've pulled the membrane off, so that's what it looks like. I'm gonna trim these up a little bit on the end there so you don't get a lot of dripping off on your grill. But what I try to do is learn using a paper towel a lot of times gives you a better grip, and I may have to get a drier one. So my wet hands is really hard to get these off. See, you get that membrane off like that. And we got people already showing up. They heard we was cooking ribs, so they coming in the gate. But we get this membrane off after about 28 tries. I'll finally get it. There we go. Get that membrane off like that. And what that does, that lets you get, one, it makes the ribs a lot more tender when you cook them because they can cook from both sides real good and not have that membrane dry up and get real tough. But allows all that seasoning to go in there. When you eat it, you can get more flavor. But these ribs right here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put them right here. I'm gonna dry them off. And then I'll put the seasoning on both sides and I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. All right, so got our membrane off. We let them dry for a minute. Now, there's a tip that I learned when you're seasoning the ribs. It actually really helps keep all the seasoning on there. First off, some people use mustard, whatever. I like a little bit of olive oil. So I'm gonna drizzle a little olive oil on there to hold all my seasoning to the meat. And it's just, I don't care, you can use whatever olive oil you want to because it don't matter to me. Got my rubber gloves on, just helps with easier cleanup and exams. So rub olive oil all over on that side, make sure we get on the edges. Da-da-da, same thing here. And yes, I'm gonna wash off my rubber gloves just so I can have them for a second. Lost my towel.
Hold, please.
Thank you. So, I just didn't want to get olive oil in my seasonings. Now, one of our favorite ones we like to use is Rendezvous seasoning. And this is a total non-paid endorsement by any of these or a Pit Boss grill. That's just what we use, what we like. Rendezvous is a big time restaurant in Memphis, Tennessee. And they're famous for their ribs. So we like their seasoning. I gotta get this thing out of here. Anyway, I'm not even gonna use that. This is how I would season mine. Just sprinkle a little bit on the back there. I say a little bit. You can't overdo it with seasoning on ribs, in my opinion. And some people, I've seen comments on our Facebook about, you don't taste the meat because of the seasonings. Well, I mean, that's why I like the seasonings. So that's why we put them on there. Get a little bit of those on there. I'm gonna put some more of that on in just a second. Rinse that off so I can. Now this is one I really, really like. I love the meat church seasonings. My brother-in-law actually got turned on to them. This is the hot honey hog, or honey hog hot. Sorry, I can't ever say that. This is great on smoking wild turkey as well. Anyway, we coat this liberally. And this is gonna give it some sweetness and some heatness. I'm gonna do that on both of these. And then I'm gonna let these sit 30 minutes. And then I'm gonna flip them over and do the other side. Because what this does, as these sit, they the moisture in the ribs will soak up that seasoning. So if you let it sit 30 minutes, before you flip it, right now if I flipped it, a lot of my seasoning will fall off. So in 30 minutes, we'll let this sit, let it kind of bind to it, flip it over, and then we'll season the other side. Then we're gonna get the grill ready. 200 degrees, 200, 225. We're gonna let these cook for about 5 hours and they'll be ready. Hi. So we fast forward to 30 minutes now. We flip these over. Our other side was good and settled on there. dry it up. I did get this label out of this thing, so now I'm gonna sprinkle this on here. I already put olive oil on that side, so I'll put a little bit on this side. There's that on. Rub that in, get that coat on there. See how shiny and pretty that is? Yes, I do wash my rubber gloves. I'm gonna run this down this side like this. I like a lot of seasoning on mine, I can't lie. Now, there's several methods to, I mean, there's all kinds of methods. Everybody cooks great ribs out there, and I'm by no means an expert. This is just how I do it, and they usually turn out pretty decent. Ain't nobody throwing them in the trash yet, so that's a good thing. But I just basically put mine on the grill at 200 to 225, leave them there for 5 hours, just like you see it. I'm literally gonna take them out there and put them on the rack. A lot of people will do the 3-2-1 method where they'll cook them like this for 3 hours, wrap them in tin foil, maybe put some more seasoning in there, do 2 hours like that, take them out of the tin foil, put them back on the grill for another hour and put like barbecue sauce on them, whatever. And that's great. I love them that way too. But this is simple. It's Sunday afternoon. I'm just gonna get me a beverage and go sit out here in the water while these cook for 5 hours, and then I'm gonna take them off and eat them. So I don't have to do all that. This turns out pretty dang good every time. And more of that meat church. Hot honey, hot honey. And like I said, everybody's got their own rib recipes. A lot of people like them wet, I like them dry. I'm gonna let these sit here for 30 minutes like this and let them bind all that together, let it dry out, crust over. Get the pit boss ready to go. All right, we let our ribs sit. See, this is what I'm talking about. When you let them sit, see how it soaked all that in? Instead of you having all this dry powder on top, now all the seasoning is soaked into the meat now. So now we're gonna put them on here. Had to grill at about 210. It's cooled off a little bit as soon as you open the lid. We're having fun in the tank out here. Little Jada playing away, having her a big time. Ready to eat some ribs in about 5 hours. So we're gonna put these bad boys right here. I'm gonna put one up top. Put one right here on the bottom. Now I'll switch them out sometime, check on them. Keep that about 200, it's at 178 right now, it'll climb back up. 5 hours from now, I'll show you what we got. So we got our ribs ready. I'm trying to be quiet. We've got deer feeding in the yard out here. So I'll let, Doe eat her supper while we eat our supper. So it's been just a touch over 5 hours. Had them at 200 until the last about 30 or 40 minutes, and I turned it up to 225, so got a little bit of char on them. But anyway, here we go. I've already checked the temperature. They're about 190 internal. So that means all that good stuff's done melted down in there. And all we got to do is get these off first. Give them no flex test. That's perfect. Put them down right there. Oh yeah. Nice and colorful. Cut that dude off, let it shut down. We're gonna take these inside and cut them up, see what they look like. So, I'll just throw them inside. What I like to do, put the tin foil over them, let them sit about, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 minutes even if you want to. Let them rest for a minute. And one, that lets them cool down enough to be able to cut them up and hold them with your hand without burning your hand. And two, just lets them kind of sit in a little bit. All right, we'll cut them up in a few minutes. All right, let them rest for a little bit. I'm gonna take these bad boys over here, cut them up, see how they look. Oh yeah, looking good, looking good. You get right there in between that meat. Chop them things up.
I know it, JD. We fixed to eat, girl. Come on with it. Okay, then. See, a lot of people think you want the meat to fall off the bone. But if the meat falls off the bone when you pick the rib up, it's overdone. Don't ask me, that's what I read online. I'm not a professional chef or anything like that, but I have read some great articles by some great cooks, and that's what they all say. If you can take it, pick it up like that, the meat should just come right off the bone like that. Y'all got a quick video? We're finna throw down from the flow down. It's on.